The entire lecture hall fell silent the moment the janitor picked up the chalk. Hundreds of students watched in confusion. A famous professor had just written an impossible equation across the blackboard, a problem that had defeated the brightest minds in the university for weeks. Graduate students stared at it. Researchers stared at it. Even visiting scholars shook their heads. And then, standing quietly near the door with a mop in one hand and a cleaning cart behind him, a middle-aged janitor slowly walked forward. Nobody expected what happened next. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that every person has hidden value, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs inspiration, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more heart-touching stories. The university was known for excellence. It attracted brilliant students from wealthy families, prestigious schools, and powerful backgrounds. Success was everywhere. Expensive laptops filled the lecture halls. Academic awards decorated the walls. Students competed constantly, trying to prove they belonged among the best. Yet every morning before sunrise, a man named Daniel quietly walked through those same halls carrying a broom. Most people never noticed him. He cleaned classrooms, emptied trash bins, wiped desks, and swept floors after everyone had gone home. Students rushed past him without looking. Professors rarely learned his name. To many, he was simply part of the background, another invisible worker keeping the university running. But Daniel carried a secret. Many years earlier, he had dreamed of becoming a mathematician. As a young man, he had been gifted beyond imagination. Numbers seemed to speak to him. Complex theories that confused others felt natural in his mind. His teachers predicted a brilliant future. Then life happened. His father became seriously ill. Medical bills piled up. His family struggled to survive. Daniel left school to support them, taking whatever jobs he could find. Days became months. Months became years. His dreams slowly disappeared beneath responsibilities. By the time his father passed away, Daniel was already working full-time. Returning to school no longer seemed possible. Eventually he became a janitor at the university, spending decades cleaning the very classrooms where others pursued the education he once desired. Yet his love for learning never died. Every night after finishing work, Daniel sat in the back of empty lecture halls reading forgotten textbooks. He borrowed old academic papers left behind by professors. He filled notebooks with calculations and ideas. While others slept, he studied. Nobody knew. Nobody cared. And Daniel never told anyone. One autumn afternoon, the university hosted a prestigious mathematics conference. Experts from around the world gathered to discuss a difficult theoretical problem that had attracted attention for months. Students packed the largest lecture hall to witness the event. Daniel happened to be cleaning nearby when he noticed the equation on the board. Something about it caught his attention. As he swept quietly along the back wall, he listened. One professor proposed a solution. Another rejected it. Hours passed. Arguments filled the room. Still, no answer emerged. Daniel stared at the equation. His heart began to race. A familiar feeling returned, the same feeling he remembered from his youth whenever a difficult puzzle appeared before him. He saw patterns others seemed to miss. Connections started forming in his mind. At first, he ignored them. Who was he to think differently from world-famous scholars? But the idea refused to leave. Finally, during a break, he approached the board. Some students laughed. Others looked annoyed. Several assumed he was simply cleaning. Then Daniel picked up a piece of chalk. The room grew quiet. Without saying much, he began writing. His movements were calm and confident. Line after line appeared across the board. Symbols connected elegantly. Steps unfolded with remarkable clarity. The laughter disappeared. The whispers stopped. One by one, professors leaned forward in their seats. By the time Daniel finished, complete silence filled the hall. The solution worked perfectly. For several long seconds, nobody moved. Then the lead professor walked slowly toward the board and examined every step. His eyes widened. He checked the calculations again. And again. Finally, he turned toward the audience. The janitor had solved the problem. A thunderstorm of applause erupted throughout the hall. Students stood from their seats. Researchers exchanged stunned glances. For the first time in decades, Daniel stood in the center of a room filled with people who finally saw him. But the applause was not what affected him most. What touched him deeply was something else. For years, people had looked through him. That day, they looked at him. The story spread across campus almost immediately. News articles appeared online. Social media posts exploded with reactions. People became fascinated by the mysterious janitor whose intelligence had remained hidden for so long. Yet fame brought complicated emotions. Some celebrated him. Others questioned him. A few accused him of seeking attention. Daniel found himself overwhelmed by sudden recognition after spending years living quietly. Meanwhile, students began approaching him with questions. At first they wanted mathematical help. Then they wanted life advice. They were surprised by his wisdom. Many expected bitterness from a man who had lost his dreams. Instead, they found kindness. Daniel never complained about the opportunities he missed. He never blamed others. He simply encouraged people to value what they had while they still had it. One student in particular changed because of him. Her name was Emma. She was among the top students in the university but secretly struggled with anxiety and fear of failure. Despite excellent grades, she constantly felt inadequate. The pressure was crushing her. One evening she found Daniel studying alone in an empty classroom. Stacks of books surrounded him. The sight shocked her. This man, after decades of hardship, was still learning. Still growing. Still believing in himself. That realization transformed something inside her. Over the following months, Emma spent hours talking with Daniel. She learned that intelligence was not measured by titles. Success was not measured by income. Human worth was not determined by status. Daniel taught her that curiosity mattered more than recognition. Persistence mattered more than talent. Character mattered more than achievement. His lessons spread beyond Emma. More students started gathering around him after classes. Informal discussions turned into regular meetings. Soon, the university officially invited Daniel to share his experiences with incoming students. The same campus that once overlooked him now listened carefully whenever he spoke. Yet Daniel remained unchanged. Every morning he still arrived early. He still greeted people warmly. He still treated everyone with respect. Fame never altered his humility. Years later, when asked what accomplishment made him proudest, Daniel surprised everyone. He did not mention solving the famous equation. He did not mention media attention. He did not mention academic recognition. Instead, he talked about the students. He talked about seeing young people believe in themselves. He talked about helping others discover strengths they never knew they possessed. Because Daniel understood something many brilliant people never learn. Knowledge can impress others. But kindness can transform lives. Before we reach the ending, if this story has touched your heart, please like the video, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps these meaningful stories reach more people around the world. Special request, comment below with the words, "Everyone matters," if you believe every person deserves respect, no matter their job, appearance, or background. As the years passed, people often remembered the day a janitor solved an impossible problem in a crowded lecture hall. But those who truly knew Daniel remembered something different. They remembered the man who never gave up learning. The man who refused to let disappointment turn into bitterness. The man who proved that greatness can exist in places the world rarely looks. Because sometimes the smartest person in the room is not the one sitting in the front row. Sometimes it is the person quietly sweeping the floor after everyone else leaves. Sometimes talent hides behind ordinary clothes. Sometimes wisdom arrives carrying a broom instead of a diploma. And sometimes the greatest lesson is not found in a textbook at all. It is found in the reminder that every human being has a story, a struggle, and a hidden potential waiting to be seen. The next time you walk past someone society overlooks, remember Daniel. Offer a smile. Show respect. Choose kindness. Because you never know what brilliance, courage, or wisdom may be standing right in front of you. And perhaps the greatest tragedy is not that talent goes unnoticed. It is that we forget to look for it. The smartest person in the room was never really the janitor. The smartest person in the room was the one who never stopped learning, never stopped believing, and never stopped being kind. And that is a lesson worth remembering forever. Red Heart.